So I don't know about you guys, but I've been hearing a lot of talk as of late about the need to raise our vibrations, and I couldn't agree with that statement more. I think we are at a point in our society and everything that bombards us where it's all just about fear-based thinking and all that low-level stuff. So I think we definitely do need to raise our vibrations, and I know that Astro Boo Baby has come out with some very interesting videos, very interesting posts about how we can raise our vibrations. And if you haven't had a chance to take a look at those videos yet, I highly recommend you do so. What I want to do today was sort of express some of the things that I came across. I came across this particular book, and in my previous videos I know that I mentioned that I don't consider them coincidences that I come across these things at certain periods of time. So I want to share that with you today. This one is called The 7-Day Energy Surge, and it's by Jim Karras. And what's interesting about this book is that I think the author, what he meant to do was to provide ways that we can increase our energy on a physical level, so how we feel good about ourselves, how we have more energy to do the things we need to do on a day-to-day basis. But I think unintentionally, what he achieved with this book was that he achieved not only in the physical sense, but he also achieved how we can surge on the metaphysical level as well. So that's why I found it interesting that the methods that he goes through in this book touched on both aspects of our being. So he basically goes through 10 components of energy that we can directly affect in order to increase our energy. And I'm just going to go through it really quickly here. So the first component is body weight. Basically what we want to do is we want to be at an optimal body weight for our body type, for our body frame. Everyone's different, let's face it. You know, everyone has different body types, different frames and things like that, and will function differently based on what our body weight is, whether it's an optimal body weight for our particular bodies. So being at that optimal body weight so that we feel lighter, so that we have more energy to do the things that we need to do in the physical sense. Eating to surge, so that's component number 2, and I kind of tie that in closely to body weight. So you know, eating the right nutritious foods, making sure that we have our vitamins, our nutrients, and trying to stay away from low vibratory foods such as pork or beef and things like that. So he gets into basically he provides samples in that book about what we can eat on a day-to-day basis that will increase our energy levels, and that part I found really interesting because it kind of ties into what most of us in this community have been researching about already in terms of being a vegan or a vegetarian, going toward more of a plant-based diet. So that's what I found really interesting with that component. Number 3, a very important one, is drink to surge. And basically I totally agree with this because he mentions that we should avoid anything like artificial drinks, such as you know, like your juices, things that have been pasteurized and things like that, and to take in moderation things like coffee and alcohol, or cut it out totally. The main component that, or the main substance that he promotes in feeding your body is water, and I 100% agree. As Astro Boo Baby says, we are electromagnetic beings. Water is essential to our being, and so that's what he says. Is he says, you know what? If we want to raise our energies, let's drink some of the good stuff, some of the pure stuff, which is water. So water is key with energy surge. All right, so component number 4, exercise to surge. So we know that we're living here in third density. We are spiritual beings that are living in a physical vessel, and our bodies are our temples. So we have to remember that. So we have to remember that the body needs its exercise. It needs to be active in order to surge our energies physically and metaphysically again. And we do that by exercise. So making sure that we're getting the right amount of exercise on a day-to-day basis, getting the blood flowing, the muscles contracted, etc., etc. So we want to make sure that we have exercise in our daily regime. Number 5, we want to breathe to surge. Okay, so it's very important that we're aware of the universal forces around us, the universal forces of life, and we're breathing it in, breathing it out, breathing in the universal forces of love and light, and we're breathing out any negative, any worries. So it's very important to breathe. And I know a lot of us are stressed on a day-to-day basis. We have, you know, things that occupy our minds, that get us stressed out. And sometimes we forget to breathe, let's face it, we forget to breathe. And to really de-stress us and bring us back down into a level where we can think and we can focus properly, I think breathing is key. So let's not forget to breathe, guys. Okay, number 6 is sleep to surge. So I agree with this totally, because I don't know about you guys, but I've tried to function on 3 or 4 hours sleep, and the next day I feel very groggy, no energy, can't focus, can't concentrate, and it's just a total drainer on my energy level. So the recommendation is optimally 7 to 8 hours sleep. I'm currently striving to get to that point where I'm getting 7 to 8 hours sleep. I know it's hard with all of our obligations and all of our things we do. Sometimes not all of us can get that sleep, but he even goes as far as to saying, you know what, if you can't get all the sleep in one shot, then take a nap during the day for a 15-minute power nap or something like that. And that will definitely help in increasing your energy levels. So sleep, let's make sure that we're getting our sleep, guys. Number 7, mindset to surge. So this ties into thinking premium thoughts, positive thoughts. We want to be feeding ourselves and our minds with positive thinking. We don't want to concentrate on the negative. Again, I relate this back to the law of attraction, where we attract what we think, and what we are drawn to will bring those circumstances to us. So if we can change our mindset to think premium positive thoughts, avoid the negative, avoid the past, avoid the future, kind of live in the moment and just think positively, and I think that will help in increasing our energy levels. Number 8 is de-stress to surge. So he gives recommendations in the book of how we can de-stress, such as water therapy. And Astro Boo Baby has mentioned a video recently about taking a nice bath and the methods you can use while taking the bath, such as lighting the candle and doing your breathing and things like that. So things like that to de-stress. Acupressure, massage, things that, listening to music, for example. So things that will de-stress you, will make you forget about the cumbersome worries that come our way all the time, and we just seem to be stuck in that mode. So let's de-stress, guys. Let's just release all of that and just relax. Number 9 is music appreciation to surge. So in my opinion, I mean, music is definitely a de-stressor, and I think that when you listen to music and you can feel that rhythm, that gets your vibration up and up and up and up, and I just feel like I want to dance all the time whenever I listen to some nice music. Let's not forget to listen to music, take some time to play that rhythm. It doesn't matter what genre it is, as long as it's something that will uplift your spirits when you're listening to it. It could be the lyrics, it could be the beats. For me personally, sometimes I even forget about the lyrics and I'm just like thinking about the beats, and it doesn't even matter what they're saying. It's just, I'm in that moment and I'm feeling that rhythm, and it's really driving my energy up the wall. Number 10 is a big one, and this is sex to surge. And yes, he talks about that sex is a big factor in increasing your energy level. Now, I'm not talking about, and I think that he's not talking about sex where you just go recklessly sleeping around trying to find anyone to have sex with. What I think that he's getting at in this book is spiritual sex, and that to me is sharing that moment, sharing that passion with someone that you really connect with on a spiritual, emotional level, and it's not just a physical thing. So that's kind of what I got with the sex to surge. And again, I mean, if you're not in a relationship and things like that, he does get into how you can have sex with yourself. And I think going back to Astro Boo Baby's videos, we have to be careful that if we are going to do that, we have to be very careful about, number one, who we're thinking about at the time we're doing this thing, right? And I called it a thing. But anyways, again, we have to be very careful about who we are thinking about, what kind of thoughts are filling our minds as we're engaging in these actions. So these are the 10 components of energy, 10 components that he talks about in the book that we can directly affect our energy levels. And again, this book is called The 7-Day Energy Surge by Jim Karras. And yeah, it's a really good read. So if you happen to get your hands on this book, you can get a copy. It's pretty easy to find, not like the other book that I mentioned. And hope you guys enjoy it. Thanks.